What a week it's been for him. He's been the most talked about driver in the sport, and that's, of course, because of his fight on Sunday with Noah Gragson. But I talked to Ross, and he told me, listen, I don't want it to come to blows, but I'm always going to protect myself, and I'm going to protect...
Hello, everyone. I am BowserJrXD. Welcome to the Goodyear 400 at Darlington Raceway. Contrary to what I thought, I'm able to be here for at least part of the race in the beginning. I don't know if I'll be able to stay for the entirety. I also might be able to come back for the end of it. So just the middle might get cut out. But I'm here. It's the Goodyear 400 at Darlington Raceway, race 13 of 36 of the NASCAR Cup Series. It's throwback weekend. We got Martin Truex Jr. on pole, who is not running a throwback. We got Ryan Newman, the Rocket Man, back in the car for Rick Ware Racing. That's always fun to see. It's great to see him back. And anyway, we have 8 spots in the playoffs filled. Or 8 or 9.
He's going to be on the box. He said that everything was set up for him already. There's not too much of a challenge for him as he gets ready.
I can't remember how many. We have it's 8 or 9 different drivers. I think have won.
Brought your own shade for today. Good move.
So 7 spots left in the playoffs with 14 races to go in the regular season.
37 lead changes. That is a record for a 400-mile race on a 1.5-mile track. 11 caution flags.
Kansas was wild last weekend. We'll see if it's just as wild today.
Post-race altercation left everybody leaving Kansas.
And there's a fight between Noah Gragson and Ross Chastain. The tempers, they are angry. They know one of them is a bitch. And what a bitch he is.
Chastain will roll off from 5th position. Gregson.
Of course, Chastain in the UPS throwback to Dale Jarrett. Gregson is in the 2014 Coca-Cola 600 throwback to Jimmy Johnson.
Chosen the outside. Bubba will be inside. We listened in on the 23.
Definitely got to take clear and give us. Appreciate the effort. Been paying off lately. Let's keep up the big momentum. Have us a good day. See y'all into it. Thanks. Yeah, brother. We got your back. You do you. We'll be good.
I love this. Love that pep talk before the race. Bubba Wallace and company. By the way, very good qualifying session for them. We have our favorite. See Truex on the pole, saw that. How about Stenhouse Jr. being up there? Great part of this conversation early. Great qualifying effort. William Byron. Saw him at the end of that race a year ago. Suarez up front, and then Larson and Hamlin. Keep an eye on them, boys.
Temperature low 80s. It says 63% humidity. I think they got the 6 and the 9.
One of them, somebody asking why there was a fight last week. They didn't see that got run into the wall earlier in that race. Anyway, here we go, ready for 200-something laps around this fabled 1.33-mile track. We are green at Darlington, 293 laps. All right, here we go. All right, Bubba Wallace to the inside to try to take the lead, but Truex trying to come back on the outside. William Byron up to 3rd with, I think, Suarez right behind. They're side by side as they went through 3 and 4. Truex trying to stay ahead, but they're still just side by side. They're even at the line. Bubba leads the first lap.
Race is on, getting into 1.
And 3rd and 4th are catching up.
Him pretty quick. Truex is holding real strong on that outside. Very challenging to get underneath these guys like this. Cars are
Bubba, an extremely strong car. They bounce a bit off of each other.
He's making a statement here in this first lap or so, saying, I'm not giving this up. You're going to have to take it from me.
Well, here's the thing about this old wore-out surface. You have to manage these tires, but
that's what I was thinking.
Is so important. That's why you see.
And Truex clears this time.
For this stop spot.
As wide as Kansas was last week, that's how narrow Darlington is, especially the
Keselowski and Chastain, I think, yeah, that's for 8th, 7th. And Kyle Busch right behind.
Figure out who's who. See Chastain there in the Dale Jarrett throwback. Keselowski, John Ford's taking it all the way back to drag racing. Cool scheme there.
It's a great scheme. I don't know if I'm watching Dale Jarrett or if I'm watching a drag race or Kyle Busch. I don't know if I'm watching Fontana. I don't know what I'm watching right now.
The first 13 are single file. First side-by-side battle is Joey Logano against Kevin Harvick, and now they drop in line. Kyle Busch with a look inside on Keselowski, nothing there.
I think it's really dangerous to get that Truex Jr. out front in this clean air so early. Was really fast. I know it's only 20 minutes of practice yesterday, but folks, trending. You look at long run speed, 20, 30 average, he was right at the top of the sheet.
Busch with another look, and no chance on Keselowski there. Further back, It's a fight. We've got a throwback driver this week. That 51 is
Ryan Newman.
Coming out of not retirement, but let's just say some time away to drive 5 races for Rick Ware Racing.
Qualified 26th in that 51 that is falling behind.
Cup car doesn't matter. He's been out, qualified well in front of a lot of good cars.
That is the best that a Rick Ware Racing car that was not sourced from Stuart Haas has ever qualified.
Gotta have that caveat because Jensen Button ran the car before, and that was a Stuart Haas car.
Here with Harvick behind Austin Dillon.
Top 2 already zipping away from the rest of the field. Truex won this race back in 2021.
He's already working the throttle, trying to modulate, trying to figure out where his car sets best and rebalance it with the throttle.
This is a racetrack. This is a race the racetrack place.
Yeah.
You cannot race the competition. Race that racetrack, and if you do that, you're going to be just fine when that end of the race happens.
Which is interesting because you said it earlier. You can't punish these tires too early, but you know you got to get everything you can on a restart or at the initial start of the race. You got to pass these guys. So it's how do you compromise that? How do you find that safe place?
Hey, the biggest mover is the 43, and I don't mean the King who just moved from the starter stand all the way up
Jones.
to the booth. But
Top
Eric
5
Jones,
since the restart.
Feeling a bit ill yesterday. He went all the way home to North Carolina to get a good night's sleep without all the racetrack noise. Feeling much better today.
And that car looks good with that black roof. And I know it's not a vinyl top. I know it's not the Richard Petty vinyl top from '68, but it still looks good. That's a great throwback.
Well, you wouldn't want that vinyl top peeling back like it did then.
Yeah, that was a mistake. We don't want to talk about that. Don't bring
Kyle
it up
Busch
again.
continuously trying to get by Brad Keselowski. Still can't close it.
Style, baby.
Mr. Style. Mr.
Well, back
Style.
then, that's why they had them vinyl roofs. They look better than everybody else.
You got that right, man. All it needed was a T-top.
And there's a look at it, at that Plymouth by Petty. 1 year later, when Plymouth would not give Richard a companion car to the Dodge Daytona, Richard flipped and went to Ford for 1 season before coming back to Dodge.
I'm impressed with Bubba Wallace, boys. He's holding pace with this Truex. Those Toyotas
Everyone else is off by at least 2 tenths.
Take it back to Dover,
Most
Kansas
more.
Speedway last weekend. These Toyotas.
And some of the
they
drivers are running
really
over a
turned
second
the
off the
cup here
pace.
lately.
A second off the leader's
Wallace
pace.
led lap 1. Truex has been out front ever since. 9 laps complete. And the fall off has been about half a second every 5 laps, just as in practice yesterday. Fans wearing their great throwback stuff too. What a great day in Darlington.
My curiosity running wild. 15 food entrepreneurs
I haven't told my parents I quit being a pharmacist to start Fat Milk.
will compete for an investment
$250,000, my own money.
No pressure.
as Gordon Ramsay gets out of the kitchen and down to business.
Your product could change the world. I want to be part of that journey with you.
Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars premieres Wednesday, May 24th on Fox.
Subway just keeps getting better. Break it down, Candace.
They got world-class bakers to develop their tastiest bread yet. This
And while
truly
we
makes
wait-
the Subway series a dream team. You know about that, Chuck?
Yeah, I was the bread of that team, too. Try the Subway series menu. They're tasty
Mute.
and refresh yet. The Subway series is getting an upgrade.
Mute. Alright, muted. Thank God. I don't have to listen to that crap. Mm-hmm. 12 laps in. Man, first, second, already 3.5 seconds clear of third place. IMSA is running at Laguna Seca right now. when someone's saying in a Discord I'm in, Truex dominance is not the throwback I wanted to see. He's running 3 seconds faster, 0.3 faster than second place. Now everybody's basically running a second slower than, or at least half a second slower. Okay, I'm going to adjust my thing just so I can see if there's a caution or not. That's all I want to know.
Race from green to checkered flag and every mile in between. Goodyear,
damn, man.
More driven. 16 complete.
It's unreal how fast this dude is.
Which was led by Bubba Wallace. They have about 5 seconds on the field so far. And joining us in the booth after completing his duties as one of NASCAR's 75 greatest drivers of all time,
Petty.
is the King, Richard Petty. Welcome back.
The greatest driver.
Ready to go again.
Arguably.
But they wouldn't let you drive the pace lap.
No, they've seen me in action before.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we couldn't get him off the racetrack.
That's right. We had the black flag. We had the black flag.
That was a fun time, man.
I'll bet.
That was.
When you were 13 years old, Kyle was talking earlier, what are your memories of coming here for the first time? What was this place like, a super speedway?
Well, it was humongous at the time. We'd run Bowman Gray, Martinsville, and you come here and, a little over a mile track, and it was just unreal. All the stuff that you see here wasn't here except the racetrack.
So as a boy, you played in the infield. Kyle played in the infield. Then you got to go racing.
He didn't play.
Working on a car?
No,
Gregson passes Newman for 31st.
Yeah.
Working.
Yeah.
Well,
And here comes, BJ McLeod goes a lap down.
It was just great. It was just a one groove track through this corner up here. I really loved the racetrack. It never was really good to me, but I loved to run down here because of the challenge of 2 different corners.
I want to ask you one. Did the track change a lot from the first time you drove it to the last year you drove in '92? The cars changed a lot, but did the track ever change?
The track changed because they changed the 1 and 2 corner now.
Okay.
It used to be 3 and 4.
Yeah.
They changed that corner, but it still drove basically the same way.
Take me back to this car. Kyle's been telling us, he said don't ask, I'm asking. That's what I do. They said it's got a vinyl top on it. Maybe that was a bad idea back then?
It was painted.
Oh, yeah, but he wanted to pay to know that when you brought a vinyl top, a true vinyl top
he
car.
wants to know why it came up.
Well,
Went too fast.
What happened, we'd cut the top of the roof and stuff to set the roll bar up in it, and we didn't weld the top back down to the roll bar. Okay.
There's your answer. There's your answer.
So it was the roof, the steel roof that came up.
The roof come out.
Yeah, the whole roof came up.
There was paint on the
I
roof.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, the old car's pretty good. That 43 looks good out here today.
We're going to find out, ain't we?
He's up to
We've got a long way to go,
22nd.
Well, Eric Jones has gained 6 spots. Nobody else.
It seems like there's a lot of trouble passing, which I didn't expect.
Yeah, I know. I seen them when they
Trying to make the
started.
move now on McDowell.
Right now, I think they're just filling themselves out and filling the car out. Just see what they've got to race with.
21 laps complete. Martin Truex has been out front all but lap
He's running the
1.
wall. He's running the Larson line.
Let's check with Larry and get a look at the Brez Tree race strategy for today.
Well, Mike, it's pretty simple, the first element. It's 4 tires every trip to pit road, even if you just run maybe 8, 10, 12 laps. Possibly looking at splitting all 3 stages in half, maybe coming a little bit early before that halfway mark to get a jump on the competition with those 4 fresh tires. And depending on tire fall off, and I've already seen all I need to see, it is substantial. And how your car's driving, we're probably going to maybe split that longer stage into thirds, because remember this also, we have to keep a count on it. Only 11 sets of tires, 10 stickers, and the qualifiers from yesterday.
Yeah, every lap, especially early in the race. Great point, Larry. These guys, all these crew chiefs, those decisions get easier because these cautions this race is going green lap after lap after lap here at 23 laps in. You don't want early cautions. That puts the pressure on you later on in the race.
Looking at 14th place, Joey Logano for Team Penske, using the paint scheme that Roger Penske used on an AMC Javelin to win the 71 Trans Am Championship with Mark Donohue, and to win Team Penske's first ever NASCAR victory in the AMC Matador.
Mark Donohue.
Also driven by Mark Donohue. King, remember that Matador? We called that thing the Brick. And it was.
Okay, here's what hey, we're talking to you. Yeah. Here's what I want to know. At home, you sit on the couch and eat popcorn and watch the race on TV, right. Follow it on computer.
Right.
First thing we did after we got through talking over here, you stood up and looked out the window like there was a real race going on. What's up with that?
I didn't have a TV in front of me,
okay, I got you.
I had to look at the real race show.
Yeah, but then when we're trying to talk to you, you're staring at the monitor.
Remember the Matador, the car we called the Brick?
Red, white, and blue. They was patriotic, wasn't it?
It was pretty easy to spot out there.
I'll tell you what, just up from him, Harrison Burton, you see that throwback to his daddy, Jeff Burton, one of the 75 greatest drivers, holding a pretty wheel. Good run for Harrison.
Harrison is in 13th right now.
In the Wood Brothers car.
Had a really strong qualifying run yesterday. You and I both commented. I thought he was going to be in that top 5 and make it to the final round. That 11 just didn't hold up, but I thought it was.
Burton in 13th, one spot ahead of where he started the day.
All right. Ty Dillon and Brendan Poole go a lap down, and the BJ McLeod car running into some problems. I see that they'll put us listed as 3 down.
10th and 11th place, Kyle Larson, a little frustrated with Tyler Reddick just in front of him. We'll follow up on that when we come back to Dark.
Now we wait. Right now, looks like the 24 is the fastest car right now. He's notched off a good amount of tenths recently. It might be due to lap traffic. But no, he's I mean, he's he's cut it down to 4 seconds. I don't remember how long this stage is though. Unfortunately, the next driver to be lapped would probably be Newman. Oh, now I get it. It only just clicked in my head. Newman is being Newman, which means he's being impossible to pass. So, of course, right, Ryan Newman is notoriously hard to pass. So, okay, he just got lapped. So now he's the next guy has problems. Monster Girls? What is this? The Monster Energy Cup Series? It's been a while since that was the thing. Might as well show the sprint ladies.
31 green flag laps complete. Martin Truex led all but the first. Kyle Larson took him a while, but he got past Tyler Reddick for 10th place. Ross Chastain has moved up from Denny Hamlin. Chastain's climbed all the way back up to 5th, which is where he started the race. So Truex, Wallace,
Bubba's closing in on. We got more lap traffic.
Traffic becoming quite a factor for the race leaders now.
Well, so much factor that second place car, Bubba Wallace, is running down there. Truex almost got in a fence right in the middle of 3 and 4.
Copy that.
There you saw the fall off. A lot of fall off out here. Slipping and sliding around. Sun is out. This cloud cover's burnt through.
I think the timer might be a little bit, ticker might be a little bit
it's got
off.
these guys slipping and sliding around, especially on these old tires.
Oh, the 2 UPS drivers, the 2 Jarrett throwbacks.
Coming. The 1 car passing Stenhouse Jr.
He let him by. Just didn't want to bother with him.
And the one thing you're seeing here, as he passes Stenhouse Jr., we saw it earlier when he passed Denny Hamlin. They get out of the way a little bit. They know racing at this point in time with this many laps on the tire is going to slow them both down, and everybody's going to catch up.
Richard, great point. That's something that probably hasn't changed.
I might have to leave soon.
Race this racetrack, manage them tires.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is race the racetrack. Forget about the rest of the cars. Get your car running, get you a groove, and then find out where you are beating somebody else. But race the racetrack, and you're better off.
I'll tell you somebody that's out of the groove. It's this 11 car. Denny Hamlin struggling, falling back quite a bit.
I was thinking of picking him for my fantasy league that I run. I ended up going with Willie B. So he had the best 10-lap average.
Now the biggest movers in this race: Kyle Busch +5, Ryan Preece +6, and Jamie Eric Jones +7.
Yes, and it's very fitting with the Petties in the booth to talk about the 43 and Eric Jones. It was a rough Saturday for this team all around. Not only did they miss the balance, but their driver was under the weather. Eric told us that he had to go home last night, had to get some fluids, but he's feeling much better today. They adjusted on that race car, and he's up 8 spots right now, so going in the right direction, Regan.
Jamie William Byron up 1 spot from where he started to the 3rd position, but we were to the part of the run right now where the team had a little bit of concern. They told me earlier today they felt like they had a good short run race car. They needed it to be a better long run race car, though, than what it was yesterday in practice. They made some changes overnight. Right now, William Byron has been keeping the team updated every 5 laps, and his speed is looking very good as we get to the end of this run.
Oh, it has been.
In 3rd, he has erased 2 of the 4-second deficit to the leader since.
Now he's stuck behind Newman.
Jamie on the 11.
Denny Hamlin's fallen back 4 spots. He just came on the radio. Clint, when you were talking about something going on with him, he might have a right front flat. They're trying to make it 5 more laps to come in. Keeping an eye on that 11 right there.
So there you go, Larry. There's the strategy. They're going to caution.
Caution for who?
Some possible fluid on the racetrack.
Fluid.
Haven't really heard where yet. But that's just what the doctor ordered for 11. Denny Hamlin needed that caution.
So, Larry, why would they have wanted to stay out 5 more laps if they thought that tire was going down?
They were doing their best, Mike, to try to, as I said earlier, trying to split the stage in half. Maybe come just a little early, but you don't want to make that second run in this stage too long on tires. That's why Chris Gabehart wanted to go a few more laps.
And here's some audio from Team 11.
My car took off of turn 2 and then absolutely destroyed the fence in 3 out of the blue.
Yeah, Chastain had just started talking about fluid on his channel that we heard, and this caution is for fluid, so.
Well, that would answer the question in Denny's
I hate when it's for debris or fluid.
Took off for 2 and then went
Unless
down,
I can see it, I don't trust it.
Unfortunate. Doesn't matter. It's happened. Now, what do? How do you fix this thing? Got to worry about a toe link. Got to worry about the damage on this car.
But isn't that typical? The car takes off toward the fence, and the first thing you think of, it's the car's fault. Something's wrong with the car.
Yeah.
You don't think the racetrack.
That is automatic. Okay. You say, okay, what if I got a flat tire or it's going down? You know what I mean? And then you find out the tire's okay. Then you go see the oil.
Well, here they come, Larry.
Well, that was weird.
Regan?
Like Kyle Busch, very good at the start of the
race. All
right.
right, anyway, Allmendinger had gone a lap down as well.
Just starting to get fun. He's up 7 spots as the race has begun. And the 24, William Byron, happy with the balance of that race car. It starts off tight, but it ends the long runs good. No changes for him. Jamie?
Bubba Wallace comes in. He just wants to be tightened up on entry. They told him that was great. That was a run. We were ready to come in and pit anyway. So we'll tighten them up.
I'll have to leave.
Tires stop
I'll have to get off of this soon.
Martin Truex Jr. just wants that rear grip to stick with them a little bit longer.
All right.
First pole for Martin Truex Jr. ever at Darlington. So far, so good.
Byron wins.
There's your
It beats
race
Bubba,
off
so
the
it's
sponsored by
Truex,
Ram.
Byron, Bubba, Suarez,
Truex holds position.
Chastain,
Byron
Busch,
up
Keselowski,
1,
Stenhouse,
Suarez,
Reddick,
and
Burton.
Stenhouse up 2. Harrison Burton, the Wood brothers pick up 3 spots on pit road.
There you go.
First caution of the day in Darlington.
60s, 50s, 60s, 70s races are insane, you know. Looking back on the speed, I mean, obviously way slower, but imagine like 82 cars, I think, ran in the 1953 edition of this race. All right. Anyway, we wait on the commercial. Ba-na-na-ba-na-na. Hi, Menards. QR code on Bubba's car takes you to a Monster Energy ad. RIP. They couldn't even get the right drink. You know, Dr. Pepper. We're back. Oh, we had a problem on
these cars.
On Brennan Poole's car.
There on the right rear, the part of that suspension that is most vulnerable is the toe link. Let's take a closer look with Larry McReynolds on our Toyota Cutaway car.
Race after race, we hear about cars having a bent rear toe link. So let's go to our Toyota Tech Center, take a look at our Toyota Cutaway car, and show you exactly where the rear toe link is located. Remember, this next-gen car has independent rear suspension. There's one on the left rear and the right rear. It's almost like a mini tie rod. You have to take 2 bolts out and replace that toe link and put those 2 bolts in. Sometimes it's bent so bad, Mike, you have to take a torch and cut it out. But you know what? All in all, pretty easy to change.
Problem is, I don't like thinking about this. I don't like that explanation. I don't really understand it that well. Whereas NBC, when they were doing their coverage with their cutaway car, Letarte did a much better job of explaining it, making it easy to understand. 5 cars off the lead lap: Ty Dillon, Corey LaJoie, Ryan Newman, Brendan Poole, BJ McLeod.
I think that's part of what NASCAR designed into the car. You can get in here, you can change it, and get back going.
Kyle Busch will be 5th on this restart.
Do anything to help you? You just need to turn it back just a hair? Or? Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, I don't think I've ever pitted in that box before, so just getting used to the coming in of it. You know, it's all asphalt runway getting there, so we'll be all right.
All right, look at your front five there. Ross Chastain, an 8.4 second stop. We'll have him restart in fourth spot. Truex chooses the outside on William Byron. And one of the top five you won't see up there is Daniel Suarez. He was too fast exiting his pit.
Suarez speeding.
Starting back. I'll tell you another one. You got to have to look way back. The 5. Where was he at? He went from 8th to 24th on that pit stop right there. Big time problems for the 5 of Kyle Larson.
I found it interesting.
Okay,
listening
it's
to
really weird seeing the Elliott on the leaderboard, considering the font change, because obviously his dad ran that car, and it's just really strange, because you associate that with Bill Elliott. It's like, it's cool, but it's just strange.
To position the right front tire. Took a long time. Ready for the restart, 42.
All right, here we go. We're going to go green again at Darlington. It's a 90-lap stage. Good start for Martin Truex Jr. as opposed to the last time. It's Bubba and Byron side by side. Bubba's got the high line, so it'll help him through 1 and 2. Potentially get ahead. And potentially get ahead.
Quite as well. Now he's got to battle Bubba Wallace.
Still hard for me to figure out all these cars and the schemes. You've got a Gordon racing for second. You got a Jared out there. You got John Force out there. Richard Petty's on the racetrack. These schemes are awesome.
Watch it.
They got Elton Sawyer. I see the Washington Commanders.
There goes Kenseth.
You saw Matt Kenseth go by.
Matt Kenseth.
Excuse me.
Christopher Bell.
All the way in the back is Ryan Newman.
Schemes out here. Such a neat weekend to throw back to all of our legends of the sport. Kyle underneath Chastain.
Yeah. When I see that Castrol car, I think Casey Atwood instead of John Force.
Coming into this weekend, our best Ford so far, coming out of that RFK bunch. Good to see.
Yeah, we talked about it, and listen, we talked about it in that first segment. You got to get everything you can on these restarts. We see it week in and week out.
Bubba catching back up to Truex.
On restarts, trying to get it.
Trying to at least.
No matter what you think your car is going to do in 10 or 15 laps, you feel more comfortable jumping up into 4th or 5th and dropping back to 5th or 6th and gaining those positions.
Yeah, you want somebody to pass you instead of you having to pass
exactly.
You saw Bell on the bottom, that black and yellow car. He is gaining some ground on the inside. Up to 60. Make that 15th now. And now, he's carrying the in-car camera dedicated to Peter Larson.
Wow, he just flew. Bell just flew by Chase Elliott for 14.
From Australia back in 1981. He and John Porter formed the company BSI, and Peter
Austin Dillon just trying to fly by too. Wow.
40 years of being right there alongside the driver.
Tried to, didn't make it work.
Nobody had ever done before, and for everything he has done for our industry, that's Peter on the right, and some of the early cameras and later ones there on the shot. Wow, he has definitely changed the way you enjoy auto racing at home. Congratulations on a great career.
Listen, he's changed the way I enjoy auto racing at home. When we sit at home and watch it, sit at my dad's house or wherever, when you see it, you get a different perspective, and it's a perspective that you remember from being in a race car. So it's straight up legit stuff.
Yeah, I was watching an old time race, and how much the deal has improved as far as
Brennan Poole off the track.
Cameras and stuff.
That's because when you raced, they used to cover it with one camera. That's it. All right.
Sometimes they didn't have a camera.
That's right. A lot of those races, early races, were not on live TV or even on film. Jamie.
First one that was not tape delayed, or I think shown flag to flag, was in 1970 at Bowman Gray Stadium. I think Bobby Isaac won it.
Right rear, clobbered it, took all of that throwback font for Goodyear right off the sidewall. The good news, though, for Denny, the steering wheel is straight, so he's continuing on right now, back in 10th position.
Okay, that tells me that toe link's not bent. As long as that wheel's straight, that pretty much means your alignment of the car is still intact and where it's supposed to be.
Great point. He's not having to compensate for it in the steering wheel so the car's not dog tracking down the straightaway. It's still running in a straight line, so he should be able to recover from this. That caution was great for him. It was great at a great time for him.
Richard, watching these cars go around the racetrack, it just takes me back. You know, you get into 3, tons of braking with these new cars. The momentum you carry around here, the speed. And then we have rack and pinion steering. Back in your day, you didn't even have power
You
steering.
didn't have power steering. You turn.
I don't know if you ever thought about it. Like when I see like when the camera swivels, I can never tell if it's because the camera's swiveling or if the driver's starting to spin out.
Steering is
I don't know. It's just something that comes to mind.
Really the cars are so much better as far as that part of it. It's just hard
Battle
to
for
set these
19th.
cars up than what the old time
Gilliland,
We watched
Gibbs,
the communication, the chemistry
Barry's
between
behind.
the drivers and the crew chiefs, Dale Inman and yourself.
So is Larson.
Together so many years. That trust factor, the belief in one another. Man, what a story.
We were the computer, okay?
Yeah.
You know, I tell Dale what it was doing, and Dale figured out what to do to make it work. So, you know, that was our computer.
The trust you guys had in one another, the belief, right?
Well, I believed in everything he did. He pretty much believed in what I did.
The lap times are closer now. Create to the
For a lot of years.
to the leader, but obviously
seven championships
no one really
together.
has quite
7
anything
Daytona
for the
500s,
19 right now.
Victories. Wow.
Watching these guys, you know, we're coming off a weekend. We've seen some scuffles, right? We've seen some throws and some haymakers, if you will, after the races and stuff. Who is your worst competitor? Which one did you not get along with the most?
The ones I didn't get along with?
Yeah.
I got along with everybody. Sometimes they didn't get along with me.
I'm not letting you off that easy. There had to have been one of them that got under your skin.
I am going to tell you this, that I've seen the man numerous times. I have felt it. He's got the longest pointer finger you have ever seen. When he starts pointing in your chest and starts, I saw him talk to Bobby, I saw him talk to Earnhardt, I saw him talk to Darrell numerous times. And all these guys have the same story. When that finger comes out,
it's been a while. I mean, I've never heard a race with Kyle Petty in the booth.
Okay,
I think I've heard one, but I like him in the booth. I think that good dynamic with his dad as
I don't
well.
mind if you beat on my drivers, just don't beat on my cars.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. That answers your question about the scuffle last week.
Now that's funny. Larry Mack would tell you just the opposite. You guys go out behind the barn and take care of things. Don't you wreck my race car.
Yeah.
There's
last
the two
week.
I was talking about last week.
You know what? But there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the emotion that goes on in these cars and these guys confronting each other. I like that. I like to see that passion. I like to see Ross's passion. I like to see Noah's passion. We've seen it so many times in this sport. You don't want it to come to where it overshadows what the race is. The sport is about racing. The sport's about going out there, competing against each other, and putting it all on the line. And here's two competitors we're watching right now that put it on all on the line. They didn't
Gregson's
agree
in
with the
27th,
same line they put it
Chastain's in
on,
5th.
But at least they put it all out there.
And the two fellas that jumped in didn't just happen to be there. They are NASCAR security, plainclothes security, and they were right there in case things got.
I saw him down.
Elliott
I saw him
passes
down there
Jones
pre-race,
for
and I
14th.
Said, man, couldn't you just like slipped just a little bit for like 10 seconds or something? Just
made it more
just
interesting.
slipped accidentally. So I'll be with you in a second. Come on.
Talking about your competitors and stuff. Pearson was always good here. Pearson was always.
He was.
incredible.
Pearson, I think, won
Terry Labonte was
7
always
times.
good.
No.
So many guys that
Pearson
just
won.
kinda latched onto it.
He is the. Pearson has the most wins at Darlington.
When I first started racing here,
He won quite a bit, but I don't remember how many wins. Maybe 10. Let's see. Records, most wins.
Found out where you was beating him. And you didn't just follow him
wait a
right in the corner and, be your best bet. You found his weakest place. You got back and got your running start and passed him at his weakest place.
So even then, you had to get a run. You
had to
couldn't just run
have
up to him
momentum.
and pass him.
Yeah, even though we didn't have
NASCAR
nothing
tracks.
drafting, it's still you had to get a running start in him.
58 laps complete in Darlington. Martin Truex still out front. Bubba Wallace.
Okay, let me see. Darlington Raceway, most wins by driver.
Kyle Busch, 3 seconds
It
off
still
the
doesn't
lead.
tell me. Okay, NASCAR wins list.
Watch racing with? Well,
I'm trying to find the right Wikipedia page.
you need to try it first. You're watching NASCAR.
Shut up, Joey. This is why no one likes you. That and the fact that you're a shill for stage cautions. I don't mind stage racing. I just don't like stage cautions. Okay, let's see. Wins list. This should help. Most wins at different tracks. Let's see. No. Okay, that's not it. Okay, all-time winners. Darlington Raceway. Wait. Darlington. Pearson had 10 wins at this track. Most all-time. Just as they said, he was fantastic. Chase Briscoe, last driver on the lead lap right now. And Briscoe is, I think, I can't even remember. I think he's barely inside the top 16. This ain't going to help him. Consider, you know, drivers behind him. Gibbs, McDowell, Suarez, Hendrick. Somebody else I'm probably forgetting. Oh, see, I didn't want to do that. That song is, you know, scarred me thanks to the Bush commercials of yesteryear. All right, we're finally up to a point in the runs where Truex's laps are starting to get slower than the leaders. I mean, second and third place. Excuse me. Never mind. He's slowing down relative to the cars directly in second and third.
While second place, Bubba Wallace has run more laps in the top 5 today than in his prior 9 starts here combined. He's the second place car with William Byron third, Kyle Busch and Ross Chastain the top 5. Now here is the fall off in lap times since the pit stop as these tires wear. Larry Mack?
Yeah, Mike, I'm able to look at miles per hour all the way around this mile and third track, and we've been kind of tracking Mark Truex Jr. And what we did, we looked at his miles per hour at the end of that first run, and the first couple of laps of this run right here, and he's on into a run, he's 8 to 10 miles per hour slower at the end of both straightaways than on fresh tires. In the middle of the corner, 14 to 16 miles per hour slower.
Brendan Poole still in the garage.
That is a wow, man.
Well, he has the Xfinity fastest lap of the race.
29.457 seconds.
Truex, that is.
Okay, 457, you know, runs up to .46.
Now, Kyle Busch didn't set his fastest lap of the race till lap 46.
Same for Elliott, or lap 45. Jones, BowserJrXD, and Newman on lap 45. Harvick and Hamlin, the two 2020 major contenders, battling for 11th spot.
He's faster.
I think proof's in the pudding. I think Denny's fine. You know, he's holding steady right there, right outside the top 10 and 11th. Here's Harvick riding on board with him with that driver's eye behind him as well.
This is a typical Denny race. He just hovers there around the top 10 in the first segment. He moves up a little bit in the second, and then you've got to contend with him at the end. And we saw in practice yesterday, he and Truex and maybe Larson, those 2 or 3 guys put up the best long-term speed.
Well, Kevin Harvick just flew right by Denny Hamlin up in turn number 2.
You know, you use the term "flew right by," and I'm going to say at Darlington a lot of time it's got let by. Yes. Somebody let you by.
That's what they do.
But because you don't want to race that much here. It's like my dad said earlier, and like Clint has said, you race the racetrack. So don't slow yourself down racing other
Here's
people.
Bell. He's been charging very well during this whole race. He just passed by Harrison Burton for 9th.
Because that's more efficient for both parties. You better get it sorted out quick, or that whoever you pass before you.
That's right.
The last guy is fixing to pass you both.
It's better to run behind somebody, even though you know you can pass them, than it is to try to race with them from time to time.
Yeah, here, especially here.
Time lost, scrubbing tire off of it because you're
There's Logano. He's running in
all that stuff
19.
is a detriment to the cause.
Joey Logano has run right around 20th place much of this race, Regan.
Yeah, Mike, and it's been a slow start for that 22 car. Of course, the winner of this race 1 year ago. Team was a little concerned when I talked to Paul Wolf this morning about this race car. It was very loose in practice. In qualifying, it went to very tight. They weren't really sure why. They felt like they would have a tighter race car than they did. Right now in the race, tight in traffic and loose off and struggling to move forward. Jamie Little.
And Chase Elliott, when it comes to qualifying this season since he returned from that broken leg, it's been a struggle, and that was the same yesterday. They qualified 21st. Team told me he just overdrove it. As of now, Chase told his team it's not as bad as it looks. I just can't push early, but as we run, it gets better. Now Chase, this paint scheme right here, a throwback to his dad, Phil Elliott's scheme back in 2003, and yesterday Chase told me it is this scheme when I was 8 years old that made me become a race car driver. He was all smiles driving this car.
Wow. And Bill will join us during stage 3 of today's race.
Absolutely awesome, Bill. That is going to be awesome, is what it's going to be. Literally awesome. I tell you what, this is the time where it starts to heat up. Just like we saw before that caution came out, Truex, your leaders fixing to get into this lap traffic. Really slowed him down, enabling Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Kyle Busch to get on him. Chastain's a good long run car. Keep an eye on this battle as they approach this lap traffic. That's when you're going to be forced off of your line to make those passes.
Yeah, and leaving your line with tires that have 20 or 30 laps on them, and knowing there's somebody coming. So there is pressure on Truex. Even though he's out there running in clean air, running at his own pace, as he catches that traffic, he knows he has to deal with it quickly.
And Larson passes Jones for 15th.
The difference right now is that at this point, Martin Truex has a 3-second lead on Bubba Wallace. During the first green flag run of this race, he was only about a second and a half in front of Wallace when he caught traffic.
See right there ahead of Harvick, Harrison Burton, that 21 Wood Brothers car. Legendary car.
Briscoe got lapped, by the
race
way.
Here at Darlington. That kid's holding pretty wheel. A good attaboy for him. Good.
Now, what I'm curious about, I know a certain driver passed Briscoe, so what I'm curious is, did Truex catch up to Newman?
Ricky drove the other.
That was cool.
75 laps complete. Martin Truex in control of the Goodyear 400 at Darlington as we go side by side.
Yep, he's catching up to Newman. Isn't trying to pass him yet, but he's getting there.
But it's never experienced.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I should check to see if Brendan pulls out. He's driving the Bobby Allison throwback. Pulls out. He's out.
ride together, Austin Dillon, Joey Logano, and then Daniel Suarez having to overcome a speeding penalty. He was a top 5 car in the first green flag run of this race. As you saw, William Byron got past Bubba Wallace for second place. Martin Truex holding a 4.5-second lead.
Okay, but we got a pass for second. Wow, and Bubba's free falling.
Coming up on Chris Buescher.
Well, not really. He's fallen off a lot more.
And there's the gap. Byron with that DuPont Chrome Illusion wrap paint scheme.
Allmendinger got lapped.
Reminiscent of when Jeff Gordon carried the 50th anniversary of NASCAR logo.
Oh yeah, that thing is such a good car.
Such a good looking car. There's so many good throwback cars here that really capture the essence of what the original car was, and I think it gets better and better every year.
Changed the logo on the hood, and of course the company name changed, and that's about it.
Good looking car. Saw Jeff down there, part of the 75th anniversary, top 75 drivers. Big smile on his face. Happy to be down there with those legends.
So 8 to go in stage 1. Richard
Dinger goes low to get out of the way.
And I've always wondered, since we've never had the two.
All right, Elliott Hamlin.
Which was more difficult, Richard, when you were starting out in racing driving for your father, or when Kyle was starting out driving for you? Which was tougher?
That's easy, buddy. Yeah.
What?
Kyle driving? You know,
that's what he said when he took me to Daytona. You want to drive?
That was your first race, though, right?
That was
the first thing you drove is Daytona.
ARCA, and he won.
Why did you think that was a good idea, Richard? That's the fastest track we go to.
Well, that's what he needs to do. Learn the speed, man. It's what this racing's all about.
Let's just learn the hard way.
It was here or Darlington. Daytona or Darlington. Where do you want to go?
So the King gives you and your high school buddies a leftover Dodge Magnum to run in the ARCA 200.
Yep, that's Steve Mill. Was
Steve Mill. He worked with DEI.
The shop. We put the thing together, hauled it down there on Clyde. Clyde kept vapor locking. We had a truck called Clyde that kept vapor locking. We kept having to pump fuel out of the race car to put in the carburetor of the truck to get it down there. Got down there, went down there and won the race. Crazy thing.
How about your first?
Yeah.
When they tossed you the keys, when your daddy did it to you?
First race I ran was at Columbia, South Carolina on a dirt track. And I'd never been on a racetrack.
Was that the first time you drove? Did you practice or just straight to the race?
It was dirt. And me and Dale and another boy took the car down to Columbia. And it was a slick dirt that wore out tires. I wound up 6th, I think, in the race, couple laps down. So I was tickled to death, man.
Yeah.
Come back up the road, and I'd been working on the cars and all that. Come back up the road, and I told Dale, I might like this racing. You know, it's better than working on the car.
That was a really good idea, by the way. Really, really good idea.
Yes. Yeah.
Worked well.
Great career move for Stock Car Racing's all-time winner.
Chastain trying to make the pass on Bubba now for third. We got 4 laps to go in the stage.
Darlington. Martin Truex trying to close out stage 1. He has not won a stage in the last 28 races. Not since he swept
Catching up to the lap car, it will be lapped Suarez. Buescher has also gone a lap down.
Green and white checkered flag at the end of a stage.
I think Truex, he's definitely the car to beat, but I'm telling you, somebody that's entering this conversation is this Ross Chastain in the 1 car. Very fast, starting to get close to Wallace.
Larson, Hamlin.
Heating up.
Larson.
Having a little bit of gearbox trouble, I'm hearing about, having to keep it in 5th gear.
Who is?
You see
Burton.
Larson and Denny Hamlin having it on him. That's going to be
Burton
a
stuck in 5th
Harrison
gear.
Burton, especially when you get into traffic. Going to need that downshift into 4th. Hopefully, they can remedy that problem, but it probably doesn't look good, Kyle.
No, it doesn't look good, and that's a perfect example. You saw Hamlin run up
Nice
on the
pass
back,
by Elliott on Hamlin for 13.
And Larson took advantage of it and got around him.
Let's hope he can get to on and off pit road okay. Now here's Daniel Suarez trying to stay on the lead lap with 2 to go in stage 1.
Look at the difference one mistake makes in this Cup Series. Had a speeding penalty on that running 4th speeding penalty. Now he's trying to hold on to the lead lap. Unbelievable.
There's LaJoy. I mean, he's a couple laps down.
That's how fickle racing is and how crazy it is.
Bubba's still holding off Chastain.
Run with the leaders. You put me in the mid-pack, I'm just there.
All right, last lap of the stage.
For 3rd on your right, as we're in the final lap of stage 1. Martin Truex has led all but lap 1 of this race. William Byron 1.7 seconds back. Remember when stage racing began and Martin Truex made a point of gathering up all the stage
winner, MTJ.
This will add to his all-time lead.
What happened to Barry? I didn't even realize he was almost at risk going a lap down.
Green and white checkers will be in the air.
Oh, a car bounce off the wall. Truex wins the stage. Byron second. Bubba third. Chastain fourth. Kyle Busch fifth. Keselowski sixth. Stenhouse seventh. Harvick eighth. Reddick ninth. And Belton.
And Christopher Bell pick up the stage points in stage 1. Thanks to Richard and Kyle Petty for joining us for this great stage at Darlington. Here's Martin Truex, your stage.
All right, we still wait for the next start of stage 2. One bank, ones to watch. Nobody picked Martin Truex because we have a no-push rule here on FS1. And
that's the obvious.
When you lead all but one lap, nobody needs to pick you.
I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Stenhouse Jr. I mean, I really thought that he would fall out of that top 10, and he's still holding steady right there in 7th. Look down the list. Harrison Burton in 11th, having gearbox issues, still right there knocking on the top 10. These are good runs for those guys. Desperately needing some good things and a good turnaround.
There is Burton. You saw him battling. He was in the top 10 for most of stage 1.
You want to talk about a rebound? I mean, this Larson, you know, you can't. He was a favorite coming out of yesterday, obvious. But he went from 8th to 24th, now back running 12th right now. Needing a better pit stop, boys. 17-second stop's not going to not work.
And Kevin Harvick moved up 12 positions in that last run since the last restart, as did Eric Jones. They were the biggest movers in the second half of stage 1. Harvick all the way up into 8th place. All right, pit road is open for the lead lap cars. Regan.
Well, Kyle Busch in the 8 car trended just a little bit freer that run. Told his guys it never got loose, it never got tight, it stayed free the entire time. Wants a little bit of rear grip. And the 24 of William Byron, it was a simple answer to him. The car is pretty good, maybe just a little tight, but he does not want to adjust on it just yet. Jamie?
Bubba Wallace in the 23 finished 4th last week, carried that over, got a front row start here. Things are trending in the right direction. Bubba's saying just tighten me up.
9.4 by the Willie B team. Nice job. Oh, Bubba with a bad pit stop.
At that 2/3 mark, so they're hardly adjusting on that 19.
15.6.
There's your race off pit road, sponsored by Ram.
Ah, damn it.
Brad Keselowski up 3, Kevin Harvick up 2, and Kyle Larson's team got him 4 spots on pit road.
Elliott up +3.
After the break, we'll welcome in our Stage 2 guest. Boy, have we got some catching up to do with Carl Edwards.
I told myself I was okay with my moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis symptoms.
With my psoriatic arthritis symptoms. But just okay isn't okay.
And I was done settling.
If you still have symptoms after a TNF blocker like Humira or Enbrel, Rinvoq is different and may help. Rinvoq is a once-daily pill that can dramatically relieve RA and PSA symptoms, including fatigue for some. It can stop joint damage, and in PSA, can leave skin clear or almost clear.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Done settling?
Ask your rheumatologist for Rinvoq.
And take back what's yours.
All right, Carl Edwards in the booth. Carl.
2016, walked away to Missouri to enjoy life with your family. And where you been? We've missed you.
Thank you. That means a lot. I haven't done a backflip in a while. I definitely haven't put on makeup in a while. I forgot about that. But this is so cool for me. I've had the chance. I got to race, live my dream, go do all this fun stuff. I've been on adventures around the world, been farming a little bit, raising a family, and I'm just honored to be here today.
what does this weekend mean to you? I know we've tried. Jacob Ullman tried for 3 years to get you to join us in the booth for just for one afternoon. But how about all of this weekend and the way it all came together?
It was more special than I could have imagined. Lisa Kennedy called me, and Lisa has been so good to me. I met her early on, and she told me that I was part of this group, and it really hit home with me. I feel like I lived a dream. I got to do something that guys like you and myself just literally dreamed about. And so it's very important for me to come back here and just show how much appreciation I have for NASCAR, all the fans, all the drivers. It's been great.
Well, we're thrilled to have you back because, when people are away, everybody's imagination goes rampant. And on the internet, there's the meme.
NASCAR chasm.
About Carl and
April.
I did have to shave before it showed up. Yeah, and they said I couldn't wear the hat. But yeah, it's
tomorrow's barn racing frolic shall be
greatest farmers list.
Wrong.
My brother does a pretty good job, but yeah, Missouri's great.
Like flying,
flying, yes, yeah. Flying a lot, having some fun with that. Been volunteering a little bit. Gideon Rescue Company, great folks, and like I said, just enjoying life.
Well, let's get to it because we're about to start stage 2. You did not stage race. How does this look to you?
It's interesting. I can't tell if it would be harder for me as a driver or simpler, but I can tell you this racetrack, I was so excited to be a part of this, just for a lot of the reasons we talked about. So difficult. And layering the stages on top of managing tires, the balance, planning for that final stage. It's a really complex race to run well.
Now you got this new gen car shifting, Carl? Shifting at Darlington?
Yeah, that was always bad if I was shifting at Darlington. I was usually backwards coming on the pit lane.
All right, they're going to come to the Geico restart zone. Brad Keselowski up to third with a 9.2 stop, his best of the year. Bubba Wallace had a problem with the lug nut, dropped from 3rd to 18th on that pit stop. Stage 2.
Here we go again. Truex, another monster start. Chastain almost tried to dive way down. Didn't work. Keselowski in the outside second. Oh, man, Chastain dropped way back, and it's almost kind of stacked up. Byron gets by for second. Chastain going to run down the backstretch and pass by Keselowski now. 4th. 5th place, Kyle Busch. 6th place is Larson now. Oh, he gets going to cut 3 wide through the turn. Okay, so now 2 wide.
And they're also, with all this underbody, Carl, the diffuser underneath of it, the arrow, that it's so defined behind the cars. You can see these cars get in a wake, much like a boat wake, and man, that thing takes off. You can literally see it on the screen.
And I saw that at the end
Larson
of the last stage
8th.
when people got into traffic, the pace slowed down. I was talking to somebody in the garage about the diffuser coming up, the balance changing. All these things are what make this track so difficult.
You said, Mike teed you up to look. Here's Bubba Wallace.
Wow, Logano going way down. See if he can make some nice passes.
Hole to dig out of. These spots are hard to come by on that racetrack. Way easier on pit road.
Yeah, it looked really tough to pass anyone until the tires really fell off late in the run.
Much like last weekend, once you start getting into lap traffic, forcing you out of that preferred groove, that's when it got interesting, just like Kansas Speedway.
And so we see guys like Ross Chastain, he really went for it here at the start. Are they still managing the tires? Is it that important here like it used to be for the first few laps?
I think a car just hit the wall.
Right. Yes.
I think Jones.
Ross Chastain, and he's up in clean air. Talking about Bubba Wallace that we just saw there, door to door, slipping and sliding around. He doesn't have that affordability, just like Suarez. Right. He had to go. He almost went a lap down because of a pit road speeding penalty.
What we saw in the first stage, Carl, was the lap times would fall off half a second in 5 laps and another half a second over the next 5 laps.
Interesting. And I used to drive this place with the idea that in the first few laps, if I wasn't passing somebody, do not kill your tires because you need them later.
Almost.
Wallace trying to dig himself
that's
out.
Bubba. Excuse me. That's not Burton.
18th, he restarted 19th.
Oh, that's Reddick. Oh, yeah, that is Reddick. Reddick Burton.
Discipline here. Discipline. We'll work on what we did. Fix it. Keep us in the game here. Long way to go.
Here is the stop.
Didn't have it on, did he?
Well, He's got it tight to the wheel, but the wheel wasn't tight to the hub, so they had to raise it up again.
Heads up play, though. He realized that he saw it, did not come off of that. That brought that jackman back around. He saw that he was still on that wheel and knew he had a problem.
We've all done that at some point in our car lives. Tighten the lug nuts and not had them exactly tight. So, yeah, good heads up move.
It's, you know, it's hard to see that each and every week with only one lug nut. We used to have 5 on, 5 off, right? Or 5 off, 5 on. And with that one lug nut, we still see it because you still have those 5 dowel pins that align that wheel up. Just like Mike alluded to, that lug nut was tight.
Hamlin continuing to go backwards.
In the holes.
So Truex the leader, Byron in second, and Ross Chastain in third. Jamie.
And they unloaded with a great car yesterday. Phil Surgeon, the crew chief, told me they were really happy with it. Minimal changes. However, they went too far on that first pit stop, so they backed off that wedge adjustment. And Phil Surgeon said, I love pitting. We have that much confidence in our pit
Third,
crew.
fourth,
Anytime
fifth,
we need to come today,
looking
we're
like
gonna
a
get the
good
job
battle.
done. That's exactly what they did. Now Ross Chastain in third spot.
Well done. Dale Jarrett's here today with that UPS scheme. Yesterday, there was a car in the Xfinity race, all in yellow and white. Jet Bodine hung out with them. Friday night, the truck race, there was a Mario Andretti tribute car, and Mario was here.
That's unbelievable. This is so much fun to see all these guys paying tribute to the guys that made the sport and that they enjoyed watching.
Battle from earlier, Gilliland
it's
and
really
Gibbs,
cool
except now it's 21st and 22nd instead of 19th and 20th.
Gibbs, Carl, and seeing that Commander's car out there.
And here's
paint
Priest.
scheme, pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. I got to talk to Jack Roush this morning. We were just looking at Brad Keselowski. But yeah, Joe Gibbs, Jack Roush, the guys who made my life, made my NASCAR career. A tribute to Joe Gibbs there. That's really special.
Now, I know they're the Commanders. Earlier, I called it the Redskins car because Ty's grandfather didn't coach the Commanders. He coached the Redskins. So, all right there.
I think that's fair. Now, I want to go back to one thing that I heard Bubba Wallace said. He said, hey, long race. And I think that's the key, to really think about that race, how long it is. Don't beat yourself. Don't get frustrated. My only win here came after being 2 laps down. And that was the key, is to just settle in, take what it'll give you. And they're all hot right now. The cars are probably driving terribly. It's really hard to do.
Well, look back at last weekend. I mean, you really don't have to look any further than last weekend in Kansas Speedway. Kyle Larson gets wrecked off of 4 or 5 laps in, leading the race. His teammate, William Byron, 2 laps down, like you said, down and out because of the cautions and everything has started coming. They get back to the lead. One of them methodically, the 5 car drove up through the field under green because of all those cautions. William Byron was able to capitalize on that. Lo and behold,
A couple drivers got their best lap on the restart, including Ross Chastain, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick. Chase Elliott on lap 101. Lap 100 was the restart. Eric Almirola, Austin Dillon on lap 102. Austin Cindric, Noah Gregson on lap 103. Ryan Newman on lap 101.
Man, that's good luck. Give me one of those. You think I was good? All right.
Yeah, that was just plain luck. The car slid right where I wanted. I stood on the gas and I didn't wreck. Man, it's tough to balance aggression and consistency.
So here is Ross Chastain closing on second place William Byron. Regan?
Well, Mike, on the track, things have been good for William Byron so far today, but the driver just gave him a report. Remember, it's very hot out today. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Just so you know, helmet hose fell off.
Oh, shit. Helmet hose fell off. You're going to be wiped when that happens afterwards.
That's not a good sign there.
You got a third of the race left.
In this booth. Okay, those cars, folks, those guys are in there literally wrestling these race cars. Their arts are just stopping in the middle of 1 and 2 while they're trying to slide around on these tires. And, if that helmet hose is off, it's got to be toasty.
110 laps complete. We're 20 laps into the 95 lap stage 2 with Martin Truex out in front for 109 of these 110 laps.
When moderate to severe ulcerative colitis keeps flaring, put it in check with Rinvoq, a once-daily pill.
When UC got unpredictable, I got rapid symptom relief with Rinvoq and left.
I don't need that. Okay, admittedly, this race has not had a lot of passing. Has there been any passing? Bubba said. Yeah, Freddie Kraft says. Goes on to tell him where to pass. Then on channel 2 to Booty. Well, that might be a lie, but fuck no, I'm not going to tell him he can't pass. Great fast thinking, Booty, says Booty. Restarting P18. Oh, that's pretty funny.
Without you, so thank you for everything. Wish Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, specifically my mom Jamie and then my wife Marissa.
Oh, I've seen a bunch of things.
Mother's Day Gay, who raised our 2 kids while I was off at the races, and to all the moms out there, Happy Mother's Day.
On this note, I need to stop my stream right now. Maybe I'll be back for the last bit of the race. Let me just update the view totals. I got halfway there. You know what? I know it's going to be hard to have this stream, but anyway, thank you guys for coming out anyway. Just for the few that did, I appreciate anyone who just comes in to stop and listen to the race. I'll be back for if I'm not back till later today, I'll be here for North Wilkesboro. Of course, I can't miss that. This is BowserJrXD signing off. Have a good one.